Hi there. I hope you guys can hear me okay. I'm using a brand new microphone that I hooked up to my computer. So I'm really hoping that my microphone works. So tonight I'm going to be, and for me, it's nighttime. So whenever you watch this, I want to talk about domestic violence, awareness, and the red flags that I really want you to look for when you are pursuing a relationship or anything like that. So before I get started, let me tell you, my name is Llewellyn, and I am an abuse survivor. I've been abused since my early childhood, all the way through my teens, and through my first marriage. And I need to tell you that I'm not a professional. So, what I'm going to be talking about tonight is based purely on my personal experience, as well as some information that I've actually researched. I'm not a counselor. I'm not a therapist. I'm not even a doctor. So there's no way for me to diagnose anyone nor to give anyone any medication. So please don't ask me to prescribe anything because I can't do it. I am not perfect, but I am a child of God. So tonight, this video I really want to reach out to the young that are just starting out in their dating, the teens, right? The ones who are like, oh, this is love. We love each other forever. And they make me so happy. First of all, let me stop you right there. If you say that someone makes you happy and they end up hurting you, you're going to take and think that you're not worthy. And that's not the case because you are worthy, you are enough, and you are loved. You really are. So let me tell you a little bit of story about me and how the reason why I want to talk mainly to the teens or anyone that's really starting out and what to look for. When I was a child, I was abused by my mother and stepfather. And I'm talking physical, sexual, verbal, mental, emotional, you name it. I went through it all as a child. When I started high school, I was bullied in high school because no one liked me because I tried really hard to find love. And I was raised with a stepfather that told me that when you love someone, this is how you show them love. And he showed me what love was, if you know what I mean. And so what happened was I always thought that being intimate was love. And so I looked for love in all the wrong places with all the wrong people, including married men. I was not very good about that because I didn't know any better. That is what, I was told to do. So here I am in high school and I meet this guy and I was 17, he was 24, so he was 7 years older than me. So I thought, wow, this is it, right? He loves me. But then he started doing little things, and I never caught on. He had a job. So at 7 o'clock in the morning, as he's getting off his shift, I'm getting up to get ready for school. He calls me. If for any reason I don't answer, whether I'm in the bathroom or I stepped outside to help my little sister, whatever, help my baby sister, whatever the case is, if I did not answer that phone, he was mad at me because how dare I mess up his night that he can dream sweet dreams of me? That was how he controlled the situation. I would answer at 7 o'clock in the morning. I would go to school at 3:30 when I got home. He would call me again. And if I didn't get home exactly at 3:30 when he started work, right? Or he was on break or something like that, then I was the bad person because again, how could he go that whole day without hearing my beautiful voice? Whatever. So I was being conditioned. And then at 9 o'clock at night, when I'm going to bed, he'd call, say goodnight, sweet dreams. He'd talk to me in the morning, how much he loves me, things like that. Well, these are all red flags. These are all things I need you to be aware of because you should have a life outside of your significant other. You really should. And here's the reason why. Your whole world should not be revolved around that one person. You'll lose your family. You'll lose your friends. You'll lose yourself if everything is for that one person. And don't think I'm talking just men. Women do the same thing. Well, you didn't call me. Why didn't you call me? What were you doing? Who are you with? Women do it too. Don't get me wrong. So here's a few things that I want you to look for. When my ex would take me, yes, I married him. When my ex would take me out to dinner, he'd pull out a chair and I would sit down where my back was to the room so I couldn't look at anyone. And he was in front of me so he could see if anyone was staring at me. And if I happened to turn my head and look around, who are you looking at? Who are you looking for? What are you doing? Wow, really? I just love you so much. I'm jealous if anyone else looks at you. That was so sweet to the 17-year-old me. It was so sweet, so endearing. Oh, my stars. He loves me. He told me he loved me and I didn't have to sleep with him. This must be true love. This must be it. Then it was things like, you don't need to wear makeup. Oh, your beautiful face just the way it is. Don't ruin it with makeup. Now he's controlling what I do, right? This is how it starts. Don't wear that low cut shirt. Don't wear those tight jeans. Be a little more respectful because you're my woman now and I don't want people looking at you. So I would do what he asked me to do. You know, don't hang out with your friends because I want to talk to you. So I'd stop hanging out with my friends. I'd stop going outside unless I knew he was, wasn't going to call. Don't do that. Big, huge red flags. I wish I had a red flag. I'd wave it right now. This is very, very, very important. Jealousy is a wasted emotion, and all it will do is harm you both. So if there's any reason at all that you are jealous or that they are jealous, get out of the relationship. That's a big red flag because you don't need it. Jealousy can tend to get to dangerous situations, whether it's hurting you or ending, you know what I mean? So be careful of those red flags. Jealousy is like the top one. It's not a real sign of love. It's a sign of control. Be careful of these red flags. Don't have them tell you what to wear, makeup or no makeup. Now you want to be appropriate, right? So you don't want to overdo yourself. You don't want to um, look unpresentable, right? Bad enough at 17, we have our parents telling us what to do. We don't need our significant other telling us what to do. Please try to listen to your parents. That's all I got to say on that. For the most part, parents do try their best to warn us, children, of things that could happen, but they don't always explain it. So let me explain it to you. We are supposed to be able to live our lives the way that we want to, wear what we want to, and not have anyone judge us or think that we're slutty or whatever the case is, right? Unfortunately, that's not the real world. The real world is that women are always taken advantage of, whether at work or at school or whatever the case is. And men treat us, well, pretty much like dogs. So I say, if you can protect yourself and stand up for yourself, and it's okay with your parents, wear what you want. If someone tells you different, talk to your parents about it. Because sometimes parents will have an insight. Believe it or not, they've probably been around the block time or two, right? So you want to be open to their discussions. And sometimes it might be hard to talk to your parents. So find another adult, not a child, not a friend that you can talk to, because having, whether it's a counselor, maybe a school counselor or maybe a counselor outside of school or someone that does not know you, that you can talk to, that's an adult, that can give you an honest opinion of what to expect or not to expect, depending on what the circumstances are, right? So you want to be careful of all that. You want to make sure that you listen and you take their advice into consideration. Maybe write down the pros and cons in a book, put pros on one side, cons on the other. Is it good? Is it bad? What are the differences? Things like that. So be careful of that. You don't want to be fearful of anyone. So if they start hurting you, whether you're in school or outside of school or whatever the case is, and you have bruises on you because they grabbed your arm too much and they blame you. Well, if you hadn't have said this, if you would, my temper. No. Their temper is their temper. It is not based on you doing or saying anything or nothing at all. Their temper is something that they need to take care of. You cannot fix them. Let me repeat that. You cannot fix anyone except yourself. You can only change you. You can't change anyone else. You cannot fix anyone else. So if they tell you, you are the reason I'm mean, you are the reason I got mad, you are the reason I hit you, it is not your fault. You are not at fault. So please listen to this. You are not at fault. This weighs really heavy on my heart because I was being conditioned and controlled since I was 17 and all through my first marriage with him. He would um he would hit me and then tell me, "I'm sorry, but you got me so mad. I just lashed out. I promise I won't do it again." And then he'd go and buy me chocolates or flowers or whatever the case is. Big time red flag, folks. I need a red something for a flag, I swear. You want to be careful of that. If you can leave safely, then please leave. If you feel you can give another chance, I'm going to tell you something that my mother-in-law told me, and that is the first time is shame on them. And if you stay and it happens again, the second time is shame on you for allowing it. Sometimes you may not have a second chance. You may not be here. They could unalive you. Or quite possibly turn the tables and make you unalive yourself because they blame you and you were taking on their problems and you can't. You can't take on their problems. So please be very careful on stuff like that. Another red flag is they set all the rules. You cannot discuss rules with them because they have set that rule. Now, mine was 7 years older than me, so his thought process was, I'm older. I'm 17, he was 24, so because I'm a real man, you need to listen to me. And he started treating me like a child. You know how hard it is to be intimate with someone who treats you like a child? It's not easy, let me tell you. So you want to red flag it. You want to be careful of this stuff. And at any time you see these red flags and you don't know what to do, get a hold of a counselor, get a hold of a parent, maybe an aunt, uncle, grandparent, someone that you trust that is an adult, not a kid, not friends, an adult, someone that you can go to, that you can trust to share your experiences with and say, I don't know what to do. And I'll tell you something else. No one can tell you what to do either. They can give their advice, they can give their opinion, but in the end, the ultimate decision will be your choice. You get to choose if you want to stay in a relationship that hurts you mentally, physically, verbally, emotionally, whatever the circumstances are. You have the choice to stay or go. And if you choose to go, there are also the 800 national hotline there for domestic violence. I really don't know what it is right now, and I do apologize. Um, but you want to be careful of that. I can't stress enough that as teenagers, we are more susceptible to being abused, to follow the crowd, I guess you want to say, because they're cool or they're popular or whatever the case is. Doesn't make them a god. There's only one God. Okay? Listen to your gut. If you trust your gut, listen to your gut. Because that is something that can be taken away from you when you start ignoring it and listening to someone else. I did that. I didn't listen to my gut. I thought, no, they know better because they're an adult. They know better because they graduated school or they did this or whatever the case is. And it may not always be the truth. So please be careful. Another red flag is how they criticize you. And then immediately, so they bring you down and then they bring you back up. God, couldn't you have done anything with your hair? Look how gray you are. Your face, why can't you do something? God, you look so old. You're very lucky that I love you. Here, have some chocolates. That's the kind of stuff that I put up with. And because he says, you are lucky, I love you as you are, and no one will love you like this. You're lucky you have me. Big red flag. Did I listen to my gut then? No. So please pay attention. It's important for you to love yourself enough to know that when those red flags get going and they're in your head and going ding, 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 that you listen to that, right? It's very important that you listen to that. This is your life. And no one, and I mean no one, has the right to put you down just to build you up so that way you are now what's that word that you I can't think of the name of it now. But when they do that, right, and you lose all your trust in yourself and you love them now and only them, it's, you're loving your abuser. Can't think of the word now. My mind went totally blank. But yes, that is, it's like right there into my tongue. But anyway, um, my ex would control by making all decisions. When I had a child, or when I was pregnant with our first child, I should say, I had to eat vegetables. I can't stand vegetables. But his thing, and I have to say agree with it, is that he said it was healthier for the baby. Fine, no problem. I choked it down. I don't like vegetables. Um, he made all the meals, would not let me cook. Because if I learned how to cook and if I learned how to take care of myself, I didn't need him. And if I didn't need him and I knew that I didn't need him, I could walk away and he wouldn't care. Or he wouldn't like that. He wouldn't like me leaving him. Right. So I didn't cook. I didn't clean because he wanted to do that to keep me under his thumb, push me down. Right. Because now that I have a child, if I don't know how to cook and clean, I'm now an unfit mother in his eyes. And that's what I was told for years with my 3 children. You're an unfit mother because you don't know how to cook. You don't know how to clean. You can't take care of your kids. Then he would tell his friends and my friends, she doesn't do anything around here. I do all the cooking. I do all the cleaning. And the judgment. But they didn't know. They didn't know that he would not let me cook. He would not let me clean. He would not let me do anything around that house. The only thing that I had to do was to take care of the kids and keep them out of his way. And if I didn't do that, I was a bad wife. So make sure that you're looking for these red flags because it's important that you stay safe. What else that I can talk about? Here's a good one. I could never go out with family or friends to a bar, dancing, whatever, but he could. So we have different standards. Yep. I couldn't go anywhere. I had to stay home all the time. I had to make sure the kid was taken care of all the time. If the kid cried even for an instant, if I didn't move fast enough to get that kid taken care of and quieted down, I'd get beat. Let's see, what else is there? Oh, here's a big one. I would have friends call and say, hey, you want to go do something? And I'd say, hey, can I go out with my friends? And he goes, no. Don't you know I love you so much that you don't need anyone else? And so I tell my friends, no, it's okay. Maybe another time. My husband wants to spend time with me. And then I'd stay home for him to spend time with me and he'd leave. Because his buddies would call him and say, hey, let's go out and have a party, right? He never watched the children. I had to do that all the time. He never watched them. If he did watch them, if they did anything wrong when I got home from whatever I was doing, whether it's work or whatever, he would hit me because he never hit the kids that I know of. And my kids have really, they're in their 30s now and they've blocked a lot of it. So I really couldn't tell you what he's done to them when I wasn't around. So he decided he was going to start isolating me from my family and my friends because he was all I needed. His love was what's going to keep us together. One time, a friend of mine that I've known since like second grade, she came by and she goes, you can do better than him, right? What I heard was, I want to break your family up. Even though it's not what she said. But because I've been so conditioned by him, so controlled by him that the words that I heard was, "I'm gonna break up your family." So I told him what she had said. And you know what he told me? She's just jealous because she can't have me and she wants me for herself. That made me mad. It's like, why would you want to break up my family? He's the father of my 3 kids. Why would you want to do that? Did I say that to her? No. What I said to her was, I can't be your friend. When my family would call, I couldn't go anywhere without him. So this one time, I think I just had my son. My son was a couple of weeks old. My sisters and brother-in-laws wanted to go camping. And I said, yes, I want to go. And he didn't want to go, but he went with me because he didn't want me probably telling people what was going on in our home, which I was too embarrassed to talk about anyways. So if you're ever feeling that you're too embarrassed to share what's going on in your life with someone, you know it's time to share. Don't keep hiding it. When I threatened to leave him the first time, he told me that he would stab himself and kill himself, and my blood or his blood would be on my hands. I didn't leave. When I finally threw the towel in and said, I'm done, I'm doing this, he said that again. And I went, I don't care if you kill yourself. Bye. And he goes, well, if you go and take my kids, he goes, I'll kill the kids, then myself, and I will make it look like you did it. That stopped me. I didn't leave. It went on and on and on like this because I was scared to leave him. I was scared he would hurt my kids. I was scared he would hurt me. And I really don't want that for anyone else. I really want you to look for the red flags. Now, I'm not saying make a mountain out of a molehill. If someone says something negative, you want to address that. If they say, oh, I was only joking, you want to remark that as a red flag. If they say, oh, I didn't mean it like that, I'm so sorry, you got to be able to judge for yourself. And if you don't know, find out from someone else what the person's like. Friends, family. How do they treat their parents? Oh, my stars. My first husband treated his mom horribly. And I mean horribly. And he did that, he told me, because she was so ignorant, so stupid that she didn't know any better. And he had to treat her like a child. Thank God he doesn't do that with me, he said. Yeah, you don't do that with me. But he did. So you really want to be careful of how he treats family, how he treats friends, because sometimes that's going to be how they end up treating you. Or she treats you, because girls do it too. I had a male friend that was abused by a female. And you're like, that doesn't happen. It does happen. Most men are raised by good moms that say, never raise your hand to a lady. No female. You don't hit females. Don't hit them. And sometimes those men are there to protect their own children from the woman. If you do that, grab those kids and run. Call domestic violence, call the cops, whatever it is. 9 times out of 10, it's the cops that say, well, he's big and she's tiny. I hate to tell you, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't matter how tiny a woman is. If she's an abuser, and there's ways for her to do it. So don't judge people, whether it's male or female, that's being abused, because you don't know what their life is like on inside those 4 walls that they live in with this abuser. Um, what other red flags can I talk about? I'm trying to think. I've had constant put downs. I think a lot of it for me was, you're so fat, you're an elephant. How could you look like that? You can't ever leave me because nobody would want someone like you, as fat as you, as ugly as you. You're so lucky that you have me and that I love you as you are, fat elephant and all. Then he gave me a box of chocolates, and I mean a full box of chocolates. And of course, I would sit and eat them because now I'm sad, right? I'm an elephant. And he would do things like, oh, and I put up with it. Why? Because I didn't really know any better. I thought that all marriages were like that because my parents did that to me when I was growing up. So I didn't really know any better. But if you've ever seen real, true, in love couples, you'll know that they talk, they don't yell at each other because they don't have to. They respect each other. And respect is the biggest thing right there. No matter all the wrongs I've done in the marriage that I'm in right now, my husband, Troy, will go, okay, why did you do that? 9 times out of 10, I don't know why, which is why I'm in counseling. I don't know why I do some of the stuff I do. Talking to my counselor, I realize from her is that I do it because of the trauma that I endured all my life. I want you to be aware of these red flags. I want you to know. Share this with other people who you think might get some information out of it, who might learn something from it. Do your own research. Do not take people at face value, not even me, not even all the books that I've written that are out there on Amazon. Don't take my word for it. Do your own research because you are worthy enough to do that. You are enough. You may not be the world to this one person, but to someone else, you are their world. Find that person. I'm this man's world. Even all the wrongs that I do, he still loves me. Now, that is as close as unconditional love that I'll probably ever get. And I can only pray that you guys find it too. I have been abused. I still have trust issues, even with him, and he knows it. And he loves me in spite of it all. You need to find someone that doesn't have those red flags. Now, there's a lot more red flags, maybe like going through your letters. If you mail letters out, my ex did that to me once when I mailed a letter out. Maybe going through your cell phone. If you have a password, what do you got password? What are you hiding? What are you hiding? Type deal. Computer. If your computer's locked up, why is it locked up? Why aren't you letting me in? There's just a lot of like extreme jealousies, insecurities, and I think one of my favorite things of his saying was, well, I'm insecure because you're so beautiful and I love you so much and I don't want you to leave me and I don't want someone to take you away from me. That's why I get so jealous because I love you so much. And then smack, right? He'd hit me. So I want you to be careful. Please be careful. Now, I had written a poem and I thought I had it here, but I don't see it. Oh, yes. Here it is. And I would like to share it with you here because I really feel it's fitting. And I hope you like my poem. It's called Unremember. I know it's not in a word, but that's the title. And this is a God given poem for me in the middle of the night. I tell you no lie. Oh, my stars. So it says, and I am missing a page. It's 3 pages long. All right, here we go. I want it over here so I can actually see it so that way I can look at you as I do this. It says, I cannot unremember things that have been done to me. I cannot unremember the words that you said I'd turn out to be. I cannot unremember times of physical and emotional pain. I cannot unremember tears running down my face like rain. I am an abuse survivor. I am strong, yet weak. I worry about what you think, even after all these words I speak. I am an abuse survivor. I am weak, but strong. I don't care what you say, even if it makes me wrong. Now, I am a child of God, and I am far from perfect, yet God still loves me, even though my life is wrecked. I cannot unremember that there are memories best left, or excuse me, I cannot unremember there are feelings best left dormant. I cannot unremember there are things more important. Do not unremember that you are enough. Do not unremember that you don't need to be tough. Stand tall. Hold your head high. You have nothing to be sorry for. Forgive those who've hurt you. They don't matter anymore. So I cannot unremember that in myself I believe. I cannot unremember that I am free to be me. Now, I hope this has helped. Please subscribe, like, leave comments. And if you can share it out, please share it out to those that you feel might get some use out of it. I was married for 13 and a half years, and I was abused since I was about 7 years of age, all the way up until I hit 30. That's when it dawned on me that this life I was living was not right. It was wrong on every level. And I thank God that I had the strength to leave. And I pray that you will have the strength to do what you need to do, what is right for you and or children as well. So thank you for listening. Remember, God loves you and so do I. If you need further help, I've got books on Amazon. Find a counselor, maybe even a pastor of your church or a church close by. They will talk to you as well. Therapist helps. Life coaches help. We're here to help. And this is why I'm doing this, is to help others. All right. Thank you very much for watching. And please let me know if this has helped anyone. I would really like to know. I thank you.